I'm sure most of you are aware by now. There was an attempt on President Trump's life yesterday, and just in case you haven't seen it, I've got this video here. We're just going to watch a few seconds of this so you can get kind of the context for what happened. Gunshots fired, president's down, swarmed by Secret Service. And he was hit in the right ear. And as he's being escorted off stage, we get this beautiful moment. Fight, fight, fight. As he is then whisked off stage. This is something that... This is massive historical significance here. We haven't seen anything like this in a very long time. And in the heated climate that we're in right now in the United States, I think it's important that we take a step back and actually look at what happened here. So I have a statement from Melania Trump here. And she says, July 14th, 2024. I am thinking of you now, my fellow Americans. We have always been a unique nation. America, the fabric of our gentle nation, is tattered. But our courage and common sense must ascend and bring us back together as one. When I watched that violent bullet strike my husband Donald, I realized my life and Barron's life were on the brink of devastating change. I am grateful to the brave Secret Service agents and law enforcement officials who risked their own lives to protect my husband. To the families of the innocent victims who are now suffering from this heinous act, I humbly offer my sincerest sympathy. Your need to summon your inner strength for such a terrible reason saddens me. A monster who recognized my husband as an inhuman political machine attempted to wring out Donald's passion, his laughter, ingenuity, love of music, and inspiration. The core facets of my husband's life, his human side, were buried below the political machine. Donald, the generous and caring man who I have been with through the best of times and the worst of times. Let's not forget that differing opinions, policy, and political games are inferior to love, our personal, structural, and life commitment, until death is at serious risk. Political concepts are simple when compared to us, human beings. We are all humans, and fundamentally, instinctively, we want to help one another. American politics are only one vehicle that can uplift our communities. Love, compassion, kindness, and empathy are necessities. And let us remember that when the time comes to look beyond the left and right, beyond the red and blue, we all come from families with passion to fight for a better life together, while we are here in this earthly realm. She then continues on page 2. Dawn is here again. Let us reunite now. This morning, ascend above the hate, the vitriol, and the simple-minded ideas that ignite violence. We all want a world where respect is paramount, family is first, and love transcends. We can realize this world again. Each of us must demand to get it back. We must insist that respect fills the cornerstone of our relationships again. I am thinking of you, my fellow Americans. The winds of change have arrived. For those of you who cry in support, I thank you. I commend those of you who have reached out beyond the political divide. Thank you for remembering that every single politician is a man or woman with a loving family. And this is a very powerful statement from Melania, because again, Donald Trump is a father. There's Barron, I think, before the incident yesterday. He was right there. He watched his dad get shot in the ear. And speaking of another getting shot and a dad, we have the identity of the man who was shot and killed yesterday. Taylor Hanson, breaking, the Trump rally attendee who was murdered yesterday by Matthew Crooks has been identified as Corey Comparatore. A family member has released a statement on their Facebook page about the situation. Prayers up for Corey and his family. And here's this statement from Allyson Comparatore. Yesterday, time stopped, and when it started again, my family and I started living a real-life nightmare. What was supposed to be an exciting day that we had all looked forward to, especially my dad, turned into the most traumatizing experiences someone could imagine. I know the media will cover this event, and I'm going to try my best to stay away from looking at everything, especially because I've already seen it and lived through it in real time. But I want everyone to know that what media will not cover and will not say about him. He was the best dad a girl could ask for. My sister and I never needed for anything. You call, he would answer, and he would do whatever it was you needed. And if he didn't know how, he would figure out how. He could talk and make friends with anyone, which was what he was doing all day yesterday, and loved every minute of it. He was a man of God, loved Jesus fiercely, and also looked after our church and our members as family. The media will not tell you that he died a real-life superhero. They are not going to tell you how quickly he threw my mom and I to the ground. They are not going to tell you that he shielded my body from the bullet that came at us. He loved his family. He truly loved us enough to take a real bullet for us. And I want nothing more than to cry on him and tell him thank you. I want nothing more than to wake up and for this not to be reality for me and my family. We lost a selfless, loving husband, father, brother, uncle, son, and friend. And I will never stop thinking about him and mourning over him until the day that I die too. July 13th will forever be a day that changed my life. I will never be the same person I was less than 24 hours ago. There are a lot of children out there that say their dad is their hero, but my dad really is mine. I don't think I would be here today without him. Dad, I love you so much, and there aren't enough words to express how deep that love goes. I know you'll give heaven some hell. I know that God is proud of the man that came to his gates yesterday. And that's a very heartfelt, touching, and I'm so sorry for their loss. And one of the reasons that I wanted to bring this up is because of the reason that this happened, right? I'm trying not to get too terribly political on my channel, but when we're fighting this culture war, this is the problem with some of this stuff. This is the stuff that comes from this. Yesterday, from DC Drano, Scoop, secret instructions given to news reporters telling them to play down Trump's attempted assassination. So, I obviously cannot verify this, but here it is. Trump rally story. Hello. Reminder to stick to the facts. Don't speculate, editorialize, sensationalize, or jump to conclusions when reporting on the Trump rally incident today. Don't call it assassination attempt unless authorities say it is. Don't say a shooting targeting Trump or the rally unless authorities confirm that connection. Clarify if it's actually gunshots. That's unclear at the moment. If authorities don't know, then it's okay to say that. Anchors. Reminder to be mindful of body language when presenting the story. No need for serious face or adding comments and adjectives for color. No need to say scary moments today at Trump rally. Just get to the story. At this moment, no need for guests to comment. Again, this is just a reminder. I know we all know, because these bastards in media have been pushing these stories, and this is what happens whenever you castigate one side as Nazis. You call this man Hitler for years, and you get away with it constantly. This is what it was boiling up to for the longest time. And the media listened, of course. Washington Post. Trump escorted away after loud noises at Pennsylvania rally. Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. Secret Service agents rush former President Donald Trump off the stage after he fell to the ground amid loud bangs at a rally. Now, they've gone back and corrected a lot of these, but look at this. Trump's speech interrupted by Secret Service. It was the gunshot that interrupted it. Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startles former president and crowd. Now, like I said, a lot of these have been updated and corrected, but I think that it would also be okay to call for, just mention that there's speculation that this could have been a gunshot, that he stands up with blood on his face. But no, because that's not the narrative they wanted to push. They were fingers crossed, hoping that this was not what was happening because they knew it would be the end of them. Here we have Colorado State Representative Stephen Woodrow says this is because of Donald Trump. He deleted this off of his Twitter and deleted his entire Twitter account afterward. The last thing America needed was sympathy for the devil, but here we are. And why bring this up? It's because these are the same people that are trying to push all of these ideologies onto us, and it's the same people in the cultural space that are pushing this narrative forward, and all it takes is one crazy person to do something like this that ended in the loss of a man's life. So Destiny has been going nuts on Twitter, and you can pause this and read this if you'd like to, but I'm only going to read one specific one out of this because I think this is disgusting. If we learned anything today, I hope it's realizing the importance of principles I've stressed many times on stream before. Having a firearm means absolutely nothing if you don't spend time at the range practicing with it. And we all know how Destiny has been trying to get into these arguments with people, and he pushes a lot of this cultural stuff. Over here, we've got Alyssa Mercante. We all know the way that she's been acting about stuff. Trump shooter revealed he didn't use VATS. This one's disgusting. Right here, Mighty Keith saying it's got to be staged. No, see, and again, with Alyssa, this is somebody who has been pushing for all of this crap in games, in movies. She loves this stuff. She loves this cultist ideology. And she has been somebody that has been calling the MAGA crowd, as it were, stochastic terrorists. You know, she's gone off for years at this point. So, right here, producer for Halo, pronouns in bio. We got all of the flags that you would suspect to see. And he says, if y'all even cared half as much when it's a school of children, we'd be a much safer place. This is the problem. These people have this narrow view, and they will stop at nothing to push their view with no thought of any of the consequences of anything, of calling any of these people names, using any of this. It's all about their agenda. Here we have the secretservice.gov leadership director, Kimberly Cheadle. Kimberly Cheadle is the 27th director of the U.S. Secret Service, sworn into office September 17th, 2022. So that's Biden. She is responsible for successfully executing the agency's integrated mission of protection and investigations by leading a diverse workforce composed of more than 7,800 special agents, uniformed division officers, technical law enforcement officers, administrative personnel, and tech personnel. A diverse workforce. That's interesting. I believe the goal was 30%. But hey, guess what? Prior to her appointment, Ms. Cheadle served as Senior Director in Global Security at PepsiCo. So she protected Pepsi from Coke and RC Cola, I guess? I don't know. But she has been pushing a diversity in the Secret Service, as we can see here, where you can see 1, 2, 3, 3 women right here that kind of, yeah, they got their backs up, but she just almost shot her finger off. And there we go. Now it's in the holster. They look like they're walking around and they don't have any idea what they're doing. Donald Trump pushed his way out of them. He pushed his way out of the women. So, and we got that, but we probably wouldn't have gotten that fist bump if men had been there, because they would have whisked the president off. But no, we've got diversity in the Secret Service. I think the Secret Service needs to be looked into very deeply. because this seems like an absolute failure for an assassin to get, well, I believe it was 400 or 150 yards, something like that, away from where the president was standing and have a clear shot. I don't know, but I know that with this, there are people who, I've seen people who have voted for Hillary, voted for Biden, and now they're voting for Trump. People are changing because this is the impact of what we are fighting against. This is why the culture war matters. Because things like this happen. Keemstar. They tried to frame him as racist. Yes. They tried to frame him as a Russian agent. Yes. They impeached him twice. Yes and yes. They tried to frame him as an insurrectionist. Of course they did. They sued him multiple times. They tried to remove him from the ballot. They tried to imprison him. They tried to kill him. Trump 2024. The culture war has larger ramifications than just, oh, it's just stuff in video games. It's just stuff in TV. Why don't you just go watch something else, play something else, do something else? It's because this stuff infects the minds of people like this 20-year-old who was convinced that Donald Trump was Hitler. I'm sure we'll come to find that out. Yes, he was a registered Republican, but he was also a donator for Act Blue. On Inauguration Day, he donated $15 to Act Blue, which is the Democrat online activist group that handles a lot of, campaign donations and stuff like that. So this thing's going to be a mess, but I think we're going to come to find out this man hated Donald Trump. He was 20 years old. There's no way he's been invested in politics for very long or knows anything about the world. He was 20, and he tried to assassinate the president. It's culture. It's the stuff that's in schools right now. It's rampant. And we have to push back on this. We cannot be violent about it. We will take this back. We will win. And one last little thing I have here, just for a little bit of levity. This was last night at 50 Cent concert. We'll just kind of unpause a little bit here. Yes, that is in fact Donald Trump on the Bulletproof art cover. So, the memes that are coming out of this are great, but I really wanted to touch on a couple of these things with you guys today, just to show the importance of why we're fighting. It's because things like this happen. I'm Hayden75, and thank you guys for checking out the video. Comment down below, let me know what you think. This is the kind of stuff that we want to prevent from happening. And I know the other side of this thinks that this is the kind of stuff that we want, but they think we're upset because it happened on our side, not on their side. No, we don't want this violence anywhere. And we're here to fight back against the ideology that is pushing this. Thanks again, guys, and I will see you in the next one.